Hey everybody, welcome along to, oh my gosh, it's another Ask Me Anything. You might be able to tell from my voice. I've been a little under the weather this last week. Last week I wasn't on, I apologize. I had a couple of messages from the Ask Me Anything link on my website. Being like, I waited up for you. So I apologize. I didn't put a message out to say I wasn't going to be on. I just I wasn't up to it, so I wasn't there. So I apologize. I'm sorry. I am back tonight, and literally I'm aware this was short notice, so some of you may not have tuned in or been aware that this was happening. But I will be back every Tuesday, 7 p.m. And a little bit like some of the previous ones, what we'll be doing is I will be putting in some topics in general. Obviously, you can jump on and ask me whatever suits. If you're live, then you can jump in the chat. Say hi. If you've got any burning questions that need that need answering, or that you think would be useful for general discussion, then that'd be ace. And I thought I'd kind of start off this Ask Me Anything session with a little bit of an update. New Zealand's in a really interesting space right now. I know there's a lot going on around the world, and it's probably the most it's affected me. Let's put it that way. The last little while, and I've had to make some really conscious choices about who I'm spending time with, in terms of conversations and yeah, just what actually contributes to me being in a good space. Because I'm aware, or I say I'm aware, I feel like my greatest contribution is in showing up and doing things like this. I love getting to chat with you. I love getting to pull apart, or when someone messages or comments and says, "Hey man, I can't get the auxiliary input into my loop in the Voice Live 3." And it's so cool for me. It's something I love, is being able to be like, you know what, do this, and someone's like, "Oh my gosh, thank you." I've been trying to read the manual, and it didn't work. Hey George, welcome along, brother. Um, yeah, and it's interesting. I feel in a really good space again, which is cool. As I say, I made some decisions that needed to happen for me to be in a good space. I don't know what you all see on the news about beautiful New Zealand at the moment, but we are literally number one uh, in countries around the world on the perceived corruption index, which literally gives you an idea of maybe what's going on in our country, despite what you might see on the news. So that stuff's rattled me. I'll admit it, and I'm enjoying being back. I literally made out a little bit of a plan for myself on what's happening. I've been practicing music. Obviously, I'm back on this Ask Me Anything session, and I'm looking forward to just putting my focus into creating videos, recording. For those of you on the Patreon crew, you know that in the background I'm working on a little membership site, which I think will be very cool in terms of looping and sharing ideas in a more, what's the word, a more structured combo, and a more more than I can gift on. I really like these Ask Me Anything sessions. They will continue, but George, it's like a little bit hard, right? If you've got a challenge to be for us to interact, we can chat, but it's a whole lot better if it's via Zoom or something like that, where it's like literally I can bring different people on in different calls and be like, "Hey, let's break down this person. Henry's having real trouble with getting the mix in his loop. So let's break it down. Let's workshop that." And out of those workshops and connections, I feel like a lot of people will gain a lot of value, because we often have the same issues, or the same challenges, or one little thing that might apply to one person applies to a bunch of others. So that's a little bit of some of what's happening. I feel like I've started this Ask Me Anything session with a little bit of a rant, a little bit of like, and you know what? That's where it's been. I've missed being in this space where I feel like I can contribute and create, and I'm enjoying diving into that again. Um, interestingly, I've been doing a little bit less looping, and working on some fingerstyle stuff, which maybe we'll play around with on this Ask Me Anything. I'm not sure, but been figuring out basically how I start all of that stuff is I work out what I want as the guitar arrangement. Same with looping. I work out what I want with the loop arrangement before I start singing and going through everything like that. So I don't know what key it's going to end up in, but I know chord shapes and have been figuring out how to play and do all of that side of stuff. So yeah, look, if you're on, or you just jumped on or cruising past, if you have something you want to pick my brains on, this is the time to do it. Feel free to drop something in the chat, and or just if you're just hanging out to say hi, just drop a hi in the chat, and then I know you're there. It's kind of, I guess, the best way we can connect, and it feels nice to be back online doing a little Ask Me Anything session. My neighbours are busy. My neighbours are busy doing a workout session in the background. So if you hear some boxing and thuds, grunts in the background, it's boxing. But I'd love to hear if you're on what's been happening. Are we all busy looping? Are we playing? Are we creating videos? Are we recording? Are we writing? What's been happening? While that goes in the chat, I might just walk through the one of the things I've been doing, and I stumbled across this song. I did some 90s songs on Twitch. We did a 90s stream, and it had me dive back into a lot of songs from the 90s, funnily enough. Smart, see? And early 2000s again, and one of those was which I can nearly play, promise. So this is a little bit my process for working out. This is not a loop arrangement, so it's not. This is in the original key. I've been playing along to figure out what I'm doing on the guitar versus a piano version, and then figuring out. Just started actually before this stream. I just started playing around with where's this gonna actually sit for my voice. Am I gonna move it up further so it kind of works, or literally ditch the capo and drop it down on the guitar but sing it up the octave from where I have been. So that's a little bit my process. But at the moment the main thing for me is on repeat getting this guitar part really locked in, because this is definitely not fluid yet. All those little changes, and I want to be able to get that happening and be able to sing and entertain, not be doing which I am at the moment. I'm still very much concentrated on what is happening on the guitar. So that's pretty much where it's at. If you've just joined us, I'm literally walking through just general chat, what I've been up to, a few things that have been happening in the mighty New Zealand for you, and just basically going through at the moment a little bit of my process with learning learning a song. This is literally daily on repeat. I'm either doing it slowly and trying to lock in, and get that like nice and relaxed, or I'm trying to put it all back in pace, making my way like and get it all grooving in tempo. I haven't sorted out the key. I'll figure that out when I feel like I know where my voice sits. But if you've just jumped on at the start, I was like, I have been a bit run down the last few days, and my voice has not been flash. So the good side is, at the moment, I don't need to work out what key's gonna work for my voice. I need to practice it, learn all the parts, learn all the lyrics, put it all together. But cheers, George. Appreciate it, man. But yeah, it's nice to have a few little projects that will become a melon smuggler. Hey, welcome to YouTube world. We've been hanging out on Twitch. Appreciate you, brother. I will be back tomorrow. It's nearly a whole week. It might even be a whole week. No, I think nearly a whole week since I was live. Anyway, this Tuesday really is a session. If people have questions, if you want to ask anything or pick my brains, that's really what I jump on for. So I'm not expecting this to be a massive Ask Me Anything stream. I was going to say situation. Because I haven't been doing them consistently for a while. So it's not like people have been hanging out, like apart from the messages I've gotten in email, which were genuinely like, I was waiting up for you. JD, hey man, how you doing? I love it. Yeah, if there is anything that's on your radar that you want to chat about, you want to pick my brains on, then yeah, feel free, obviously, to say hi, to literally type whatever questions are there. It's different over here, but I like it. Yeah, most of my YouTube and Twitch I find very different, and most of my YouTube, my thought process, to be honest, around the two is quite different as well. I really like Twitch for the fact it's live, it's fun, it's social, it's very cool. I feel like YouTube is a little bit more curated. Like, I enjoy making videos and creating normally, rather than this live chat, which I do once a week on YouTube, this time 7 o'clock Tuesday nights. But yeah, I'd stopped creating content on YouTube for quite a while. I've been very erratic. And there's some other stuff that's been going on in my life as well, which is part of that. If you saw some of the start of this video, you'll maybe have a bit of an idea of some of what's happening. But Melon Smoker, what made you want to start streaming, and how do you feel it's going so far? Interesting. Part of the combination of me streaming was New Zealand's in a very interesting place at the moment. We had a lot of lockdowns, and I think we still look like the poster child for what the media are sharing. But we're literally, New Zealand is the #1 country on the, I just saw this the other day and I was like, that makes absolute sense, on the corruption perception index. #1, the top country. There's 2 others that are #1. We're tied with them, which explains the frustration. If you've probably seen, if you follow other New Zealand musicians, Kiwis, about gigs being cancelled, changed, that sort of thing. And I did one stream on YouTube, one live show, I don't even know when that was, maybe 6 months ago. it was the only one I'd done on YouTube, and it was really cool. I looked for, I actually had a false start. I thought I was live. I played 2 songs and thought, this is weird, no one's commenting. And then at the end of that second song, there was a comment, someone being like, has it started for you yet? And I was like, hang on, what's going on? So I enjoyed that. I'm trying to think how Twitch became a thing. I must have seen someone, or in fact, I'll tell you who it was. It was Leon Bratt, another loop artist, doing amazingly on Twitch, and it was one of the things was I can stream on Twitch. I'm not, whatever our government decides to do, change its mind, change the rules, daily, weekly, whatever happens, I can still jump on. I get to perform, and I get so much out of it. I know you guys enjoy hearing me play and sing and things like that, but it really is a gift to me to share that. It's an expression of me that I really enjoy as well. So so that was part of it, and then I've just enjoyed figuring out the whole Twitch platform and community. Everyone is so nice and encouraging, and it's who knows who appears on any stream and joins in, but that's been such a beautiful space, and a gift to me to be able to have the opportunity to perform again. So yeah, I'm literally looking at friends that are cancelled tours and all that sort of stuff again in New Zealand. So again, I don't know what you see overseas on news. Might be a little bit different in reality with what's happening here. But yeah, in terms of how I feel it's going so far, I mean, I feel like this is always the thing. Anytime I upload a video to YouTube, obviously I'd love it if that video was like, oh my gosh, I blinked and like, 1 million people watched it. Because there's just some part of that that's like, part of it is totally ego, right? Is I'm like, oh my gosh, that's cool, they like me, yes. But there's just something so satisfying for me realizing that people are getting enjoyment. If people are watching a video or a live stream or a show on Twitch or whatever it is, or coming to a show and buying tickets, there's something that is just like, cool, I'm bringing joy, I'm bringing value in some format to people. So it's like a long answer, but maybe that answers your question. So sorry, how do you feel it's going so far? So in the one hand, I'm like, it's awesome, it's cool, I feel like we've got a really nice bunch of people and a cool community growing there. The other part of me is like, oh, it'd be amazing if it just like there was 5,000 more people on tomorrow's stream, you know what I mean? So that's just a funny internal thought that pops past, to be honest, for me, where it's like some days I'm just absolutely not thinking anything about that. I couldn't care less. It's just nice to play. And other times, like most people, I have that thought and be like, right, okay, how am I, if I'm not doing gigs, how am I actually paying my rent this week? And is this a smart thing? Should I be streaming now, or should I be doing something else? Should I be teeing up potential shows for somewhere down the track that who knows what might be able to happen in terms of real life shows around the country? So yeah, it's kind of where it's at for me, and I guess inside of that as well, I've just been doing a few little video editing projects for some other people, which I really enjoy, and I've really enjoyed diving into that. I've been putting off a little bit. I did some work with Singdaptive, and I've been going back, and we did a bunch of really cool Zoom calls where I got to chat with a bunch of their team, and a bunch of their team actually came from TC Helicon when they changed and I guess they stopped developing new gear. It's probably accurate. So if you're wondering where they went, a bunch of them went to Singdaptive and have put together a really cool what do I call it, like training website essentially, but it's a website where you actually get to work one on one with video shares back and forth with a vocal coach. So I've been going through, and so that I can edit the video, I've been going through with time, writing the time down, roughly what we say in the interview, so that when I edit the video, I can go back and find those points that I'm like, oh, I really want to share that because I think it will be of value to a bunch of you. And one of the last things I wrote when I was just from that is, it's like, if we roll back time, location was an issue. You know, if you had a great vocal coach just down the road, awesome, wonderful. If you didn't get on with your vocal coach down the road, or they weren't great, you didn't have many options. And it's one of the things that I really love about how they've set up. You'll see the video when it comes out, but one of the things I really love is they are about that connection and finding a good match. And that match, the person can be in Canada or the States. It's no longer a barrier. Literally, like me streaming here, we get the chance to hang out and chat. And if you do have any questions for me, obviously put them in the chat. But it cuts through that boundary that previously was an issue if you wanted to work with someone specifically across the globe. So that's pretty much what's been happening in my world. And yeah, it's nice to even though you're seeing this Ask Me Anything, like this live session and nothing else yet, it's nice to be back in here in terms of where I'm at, grounded and creating again. So yeah, JD, I think it's going to be really cool. I genuinely, it's over 2 hours of of Zoom chats, and half of me is loving. I'm getting so many gems out of rewatching the chats. The other part of me is like, I have so many other video ideas I really want to do right now, that what flows for me really well making videos is to make it within a day, basically, is to film everything as I go. I'm thinking through the process. And in the background as well, in case some of you are wondering, I really enjoy learning from lots of different people, which is probably part of why the Singdaptive thing, that connection really appealed to me. And I feel like they have the same attitude that, all of those people I've been working with there, I feel like they could be 100 years old and they'll be like, I just want to learn this cool new thing. And oh my gosh, I've been able to work with this person. But I am currently doing a course on monthly.com, which is video making, filmmaking with Casey Neistat, and I'm so loving it. But as I say, I have this love-hate relationship at the moment, because I want to make a video about how come I never made a video about this new PRS when it was new. So I know a lot of people asked, and I'll share that in the video. There's a reason I didn't make it, but I'm ready to make it now. And there's all these things that I'm like, I could just get up and do that. I want to make a video about why I started streaming on Twitch. Like, am I mad? Maybe. Who knows? And in the meantime, I'm like, oh my gosh, I've to make this current video with Singdaptive, it's just like, I've got to do the work of listening to and jotting down those things so that I can make it a smooth process. And so it's like, it's very much a love-hate relationship at the moment, because it's like the impatient part of me just wants it to like be done and be amazing. It's like an internal battle. If you could pick one place in the world to do a show, where would you go? You know what? A venue that intrigues me is Red Rocks. Like, it's a kind of natural amphitheater in the States that I just think would be very cool. Hey Matt, how's it going? Great question, brother. Hey Dave, what's an example of a video of yours that you didn't think much of but that did really well, or a video you're really proud of that did no numbers at all? Um, I know exactly the two to answer that question, and an example of mine that I didn't think much of was I was so frustrated of it with it, and that was the Wicked game by Chris Isaac. I I just had dramas filming it, so I was frustrated, um, about the whole thing, and by the time I got to edit it, I was kind of like, the last take, the one that's up there. I was like, you know what? Sure. My flatmate had just come home and been like, tried to drive into that's in the carport of where I lived, facing out, and yeah. I'm guessing my carport isn't just down the road from you, JD. But but I I basically got over it when I was editing it. There was there's a slap back kind of echo on my voice, which, to be honest, it probably works, but when I was editing it really frustrated me. It's the slap back from the concrete walls in the carport. And then I kind of changed the color and was like, sure, whatever. This is what I think I wrote in the post. I was like, this is what I've done with the day. So, dear YouTube, this is what I spent the afternoon doing. So, there you go. Um, and then yeah, it was really nice. People were like, it's really cool. And I just realized over and over again. I realized this. I feel like weekly. Is just get out of my head, my own head and my thoughts, and just share. This is what I love. This is what I've been up to. Like earlier, earlier on the thing, being like, literally, you know what I've been learning at the moment is. And but I wouldn't share that because I was like, literally, previous me would have been like, don't play it again. Like it's not really ready. It's not really ready. I'm gonna bring out all the things in this chat. Like, my voice hasn't broken yet, and one day when it does, oh, it's gonna be so good. Um, but yeah, that did. Um, it just, people really liked it and shared it, and it's done really well. And then the a vid that I feel is my that I was most proud of, is the, oh, I gotta think what it's called. Creatives. I think I named it. Do you ever get stuck as a creative? Um, Something like that. And I was like, I feel like the message, ever felt exhausted as a creative, is the video. And I felt like the intro, the editing just went really, that was great. I was stoked with it. I felt like the message was really good in it. And I uploaded, and it was just like, people were like, huh. So yeah, I mean, that is how it goes. It's like, the cool thing I think in creating content is whoever gets something out of it, gets something out of it, you know. And if it's one person or 1,000 people, then awesome. But sometimes people just needed to hear that little thing, and you're like, cool. Hi everybody, Jacob, David, Jacob, Piers, welcome along. Nice to see you. Nice to say hi. Let's catch up a bit. Jacob, glad I could catch one of your live streams again. It's late Monday night for me. Cheers, man. Thanks. I will be back now. And thanks for jumping on. So, if there's any priority topics you would like to see these based around, hit me up. There should be a link still below this to the website to send me a message. Feel free to do that. And thanks for hanging out. David Ramirez, I don't see you play Electrics much. Any reason in particular you never went to the dark side? I don't own an electric at the moment. Shock horror. I love playing electric. It's super fun, but I genuinely come back to, I really enjoy something about the rawness and the acoustic sound, and kind of like jumping into fingerstyle stuff. Just just what I gravitate back to all the time. So yeah. Um, how do you decide whether to loop a song or play it with no loops? Do you loop every song that could work as a loop? Great question, brother. I I'm not sure there's a specific answer to that. Like, so maybe if I use the 1,000 miles, seeing as I've been playing it on this Ask Me Anything, it you could loop it. There's different parts in it that instead of playing and trying to get all these notes and do it fingerstyle, you could make it a lot easier by looping things. What? Hang on, what chords? I better play the right chords. You could play the chords under it, set up a nice groove. It would work really well. The thing with this that got me is I just was like, I think I could do a really cool fingerstyle arrangement on the guitar and sing it, and so that's what grabbed my attention. I may I'm not really doing a lot of live shows where I need it to be a party track as such, but it's quite likely that it may evolve down the track and I'll end up with a version of both. So building a loop where if I'm doing a show and I want people to dance, I'm like, now this song is useful for that too. I have a version where it is. I can play a loop, a looped version, I guess, So there's no rhyme or reason, but probably the number one thing in my head is where I'm going to use it. So if I'm doing a cover song, if I'm learning it purely because, which doesn't happen much now, if I'm learning it purely because I'm like, I need a new dance track, or that's just, it's more because I'm like, that's just a good track, and a lot of tracks, when I hear them, my brain now is working through looping it away from a loop pedal, away from any gear. I'm like, oh, I wonder, I could put that's a great breakdown. I wonder how I can emulate that. So I'm not by a pedal. My brain is automatically doing that from arranging a lot of different loops, I guess. And then I do both. If I'm doing a lazy Sunday afternoon version, there's times that I will do, what's a good example of this? I have an arrangement of This Love by Maroon 5 that can be a full-on dance track, looped, built up. In fact, remind me, I will film it for this channel. I will film both versions, so and just put them out as two separate videos. I think that'd be kind of cool. So I'll do a full looped version for if I'm doing a party gig, and then I really enjoyed, a little bit like this, figuring out, can I change the style? Can I change the style and still play these? How can I play? That's the question. Hang on. Okay. So, instead of going, building all the different parts, I was kind of like, if I'm doing a Sunday chill, a market, whatever, I realize you can't see. So I enjoy experimenting with that, and in fact, when I played as a third version, when I played with a drummer and was doing a lot of duos there, um, I I started working out how to could I get that same could I get that in there and play the loop beat. Like, okay, pretty much that would need some work to really slot in and just groove again. But I often end up, this is a very long answer to your question, I often end up doing different arrangements of the same song depending on where it's going or what combo is going to be happening. So I hope that gives you some insight, Jacob, maybe into my thought process. But if you've done the work to build a loop for a song, you can definitely strip it back to an acoustic version. So I'd probably head that way, maybe first. This is a tough question. Piers, what's exciting you this year? Honestly, I'm actually really excited to record again. I have a lot of songs that are hiding. That, in fact, some of you on Twitch will have heard a lot more songs than have been shared on YouTube. Cheers, Jacob. Yeah, look, it's happening. We've said it here on the Ask Me Anything. So, committed now. I have to do it. I will enjoy that. What's exciting me this year? Recording. So there's so many songs that the thought goes. I can't believe I'm sharing this. The thought goes through my mind. Some point I will die. At the moment, if I die, those songs disappear. And literally, that's part of my motivation a lot of times. Is I'm like, I want to share that. I think people will get something out of it, appreciate it, value being able to listen and check it out. And if I don't do it, it's literally gone. There's not like this love version. If I don't record how I do it, my version, put it up in some format, it's gone. Do other people do some cool versions? Absolutely. Do they do the same version that I do? Nope. So that's kind of like a weird motivation maybe, but yeah, I'm excited to dive into more storytelling with videos, which means there'll be a few more vlogs. Vlogs maybe not quite the right word, but a bit more of me chatting and telling some stories about life, music. Ideally, they'll be entertaining and fun to watch, with hopefully some insights into perhaps some of life, touring, setting up shows, different aspects of music that I've been involved in, and I'd like to do a little bit more on some promo stuff too for people. I think that would be super useful. So, yeah. Matt, yeah, man, it's all there forever. The contents. There's no real accounting for what we'll find in audience. My fave phrase is "It's not a race, it's a dance." I love that. It reminds me of a conversation I had a couple of times over with a friend, where it's like, imagine dancing with someone, and your goal is like, let's try and dance faster to get to the end of the dance. It makes no sense. It'd be like being contracted to play a gig, and you're like, well, they said 10 songs for our act as part of the show, so let's play them double time. Let's play them twice as fast, and we can get out of there. You know, it's like it's yeah, it's like, enjoy the process, whether you're making video. I think that kind of sums up, Piers, what you're saying as well. What's exciting you this year? Enjoying the process of what I'm creating, and feeling like what I'm creating is a cool expression of and from me, but also that it's going to gift something to the people that watch it, or the people that connect in with whatever that is. So yeah. Thanks, Matt. George, appreciate you, man. Thanks for jumping in. My accent. Yeah. Thank you. Piers, playing fancy fingerstyle and singing at the same time. Have you heard of Nick Jones? Amazing ability to play finger busting guitar and then sing so freely on top. Nick Jones. I don't think I've come across him or her. I shall look them up. Melon Smuggler, one thing before I go, what is your current favourite song to do live, either at a show or online? Ooh. There was, do you know what? My favourite little song to sing was a Jack Savaretti song that I just dived back into called Last Beat. A cool little acoustic song. I learnt it for a friend's wedding, and I just remembered that I used to play it, and dug it out again, and yeah, digging it. So, yeah. So that's pretty much where it's at. Carpe the effing DM. I like it. Cheers, team. Thanks for tuning in. It feels really nice to be back. Yeah, a lot of shifts. If you weren't here at the start, a lot of shifts in the background for me, and I feel like I've gained some clarity on what I'm up to and what's important, and what where I need to spend my time and focus, which I definitely felt was missing for a bit there. So I appreciate you all. Thanks for connecting in and jumping on this. Funnily enough, this Ask Me Anything would be, well, it's me rambling anyway. That's what's gonna happen. But it's much more interesting rambling when you're online and asking questions and we get to chat and connect. So I appreciate you all. Thanks. And Piers, thanks. Him, English folk singer, active in the 70s and 80s. Nice. I will go and take a look. But see you next Tuesday. You'll see some content happening on the channel. With the Singdaptive video, with the PRS video, that to be honest, you probably, for those of you that wanted to see it, you've all gotten over asking because I didn't make anything. Perfect. So nice to see you all. I am signing out. I appreciate you all, and we will see you. Another time. Chat. Ciao. See you later.